Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? As usual, we are back for another wonderful episode of the Good Bit Show, and we like to highlight all the positive things that happens in the world of Bitcoin that has nothing to do with the chart. So, those of you that are always tuning in and looking at the charts, looking at the price go up, and you're kind of a little frustrated, a little flustered, if you will, wondering what is going on in the world of Bitcoin, well, I have good news for you, my friend, regardless of what's going on the charts. There is always some great and amazing positive things in the world of Bitcoin. And we're going to start off with some fundraising opportunities. So those of you that don't know, Agora is a fundraising platform which allows people to raise funds with Bitcoin. What I find really interesting with this is that they have different campaigns. And the one that I'm going to highlight in particular is this one in regards to what's happening in Venezuela. So those of you that don't know, lots of things have been happening in Venezuela that Bitcoiners would care about, such as the monetary policies, the economy, various conflicts, of course, constantly in the news. However, recently there has been some earthquakes. So a dual earthquake hit, had a lot of devastation and what have you. But with this Agora platform right here, there are people that are giving to the cause. So Bitcoiners are uniting and giving to this. So I think this is absolutely a worthy cause and something worth highlighting, a little positive side of Bitcoiners, what is happening in the world. And those of you that don't know, this is your first time on the stream. My name is Taj, hanging out with the Wolf Bitcoin crew. And what we like to highlight is the positive, the feel-good side of things. But also, in addition to that, we like to talk about circular economies, the technology that is allowing for this adoption worldwide. And of course, the various boots on the ground, the people that are all around the world that are doing all this stuff. We like to highlight them and share these things with you. So if you find this interesting and beneficial, whether it is a day like this when I am on the road in a hotel setting this up, and I just want to share this stuff with you, 13 hours ahead time zone, I want to highlight the fact that Bitcoin is a global thing. This is the type of thing that regardless of where we are in the world, we are interested in this particular topic, and there's people all around the world that are benefiting from this. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I think this is a positive thing worth showing. And what's happening here in Venezuela just shows the global nature of Bitcoin. So absolutely love this right here, what's going on. And again, I'm not telling you that this might be something that you want to give to or not, but they just started this fundraising effort trying to get $25,000. They're up to $260,000, and they're using these barcodes, if you will, the QR codes, the lightning payment codes, whatever word that you want to actually use to be able to donate to causes such as this. I think is absolutely great. If this is not the cause for you, you can check out this platform. There's a whole bunch of other ones that you can donate to, but I just find it absolutely great that fundraising without borders. So we love to say that Bitcoin never sleeps, Bitcoin is without borders, allows people to be connected and so forth. But what's really interesting with this in particular is whatever cause it is, whatever, I guess you'd say, thing that you find worthy, you can find a way to donate and give to that. And I think it's worth highlighting and sharing with you. So the next story that we're going to hop over to is a particular story about various builders. So again, we like to speak about the builders. We like to speak about the various technology. And in this particular story right here, these are the B-Trust developer grant recipients. So there is the starter grant, and then there's the continual grant. So these various people right here, which I find very interesting, are you can read their bios and so forth. This is the blog that btrust.tech, and you can go in here and you can read about each of these individuals, what they're doing to contribute, whether it is in the open source development, the educational side of building and helping other developers solve local problems, whatever it may be. So the starter grants are recipients for people that are just really getting started. And then the long-term grant recipients are people that need continual development and going on. So the interesting thing about this particular story in this particular article is that not only do you get to see what they're building, what you get to see what problems they're solving and how Bitcoin is doing that and making lives better all around the world, but also you get to learn a little bit about each of these individuals. I find it just very interesting. Again, I like to highlight what's happening in the world of Africa and the continent of Africa. And this article came out July 13th. So just this week, right? And highlighting each and every one of those. So the starter grants, explaining how that actually works. So if you're building boots on the ground, you're trying to get people into this ecosystem, this is a great resource for you, Btrust, and go check out what they're doing, what resources they offer. But then also, again, these recipients, you can hear about them or read about them, I should say, and in various countries such as Uganda, contributing to open source networks. And those of you that don't know, like these various things, such as Polar, an open source desktop application for Lightning developers, so that you can test out the various things that are being built before it rolls out. You can actually read about these various projects. You can click into them, find out a little bit more about them, look at the GitHubs. You can find out about the people. You can connect with them, look at their GitHubs and what they're actually building in their social medias, etc. I think is absolutely just a great resource, a great place. And you can actually see like the various things that are here. So like Bitcoiners Pathway, and you can learn about these various things, what's happening with Rust and how they're developing. And again, each and every one of these people have their own stories. And I think that's what's the cool thing about this. Yes, this is tech. Yes, we're solving problems. Yes, we're helping people all around the world. But I think most importantly, I think the people behind it are also being highlighted. It's one thing to have a pseudonymous founder such as Satoshi, but to have these individuals, boots on the ground, like I like to say, that are solving these local problems, I think it's worth highlighting them, sharing what they're building, and sharing how these various open source technologies, these dev kits, etc., all around the world are helping these people to build amazing things. So I think that's absolutely great, worth highlighting. And of course, the long-term grant, because some of these upstarts, if you will, just need a small amount, get it started, get a minimum viable product or whatever. It might be a smaller project that doesn't really require much, but these long-term grants, these continuous funding opportunities, they're also there too. So you can learn about each and every one of those, how to get involved. You can contact the various teams and so on. And I think that's absolutely great. So hopping to another story, which happens to be on the continent of Africa. But let's be honest, guys, like a lot of the cool things that are happening in the global south, as they like to call it, in the developing world, it just happens to be on the continent of Africa. There is people. And what you can see, this conference just went by just a few days ago, just ended. This is Bitcoin Plus Plus. And this particular one was in Nairobi. So Bitcoin Plus Plus is a developer conference that highlights open source technology, all sorts of building and using Bitcoin, the power of being a contributor to the network and so forth. And this particular one in Nairobi had some amazing speakers, had some amazing topics and so on. All around the world, they like to go. And you can check this out, this Bitcoin Plus Plus website, or btcpp.dev. And you can see the particular locations and all these different things. But what I think is really interesting about this is not only do I like the actual layout of the site, it's kind of like a throwback WordPress kind of, I guess you would say a newspaper, school newspaper kind of vibes, which kind of brings me back to my younger days. But what I find really interesting about this is in this particular one, besides seeing all the cultural pictures and all the relevant things that's happening, they actually have links to everything that took place. So this one, like I said, was last month, actually, the end of last month. But you can see all of the information that you missed. And you can see, of course, this says who's coming, but this took place already. But you can see their various speeches, what they contributed. And again, the people behind it, you can click on their profiles, learn about these various things. So Bitcoin Plus Plus goes all over the place. In this particular thing, like all the main speakers, you can get knowing the people that are behind it, how they're contributing, knowing their why, I think is absolutely amazing. And in case you missed it, the cool thing too also is you can click watch. So all of their speeches, all of their presentations, all of their angles were presented, recorded, and put up there. The link goes to YouTube. So you can actually watch them, the main stage from the opening to close. So highly recommend that you just check that out, see what's going on there. It's a great world, seeing what's happening in Nairobi, Bitcoin Plus Plus. And then also, if you want to see what's upcoming, you can see the next thing is going to be in Toronto. So Toronto Consensus, they're doing some amazing things. And by the way, this logo that's going across the screen right here, Human Rights Foundation, if you're not familiar, they highlight a lot of, I guess you'd say, injustices and things that are happening in the world. And believe it or not, quite a few of these amazing stories that I like to share comes from them, and they are in Venezuela, and how they're donating to the earthquake relief through Bitcoin. That actually came from them. So if you're interested in kind of knowing what's happening around the world, how people are helping to make lives better and the intersection of Bitcoin and how this actually does that, that's a great place to check out some things. But anywho, going back to this, Bitcoin Plus Plus, going to Toronto consensus. So you have 3 days, 3 hours, 31 minutes, and 40 seconds to actually get involved in that. So those of you that will be in Toronto, this is one to keep an eye on. And sure, they'll be putting out a lot of content. And again, as usual, what I always recommend, the going to conferences is absolutely awesome. It is great. But even better than that, if you cannot go, because you have the opportunity to connect to the speakers and everything, go to the profiles, read what they're up to. I think that's a great way. So Consensus, as you know, very a global, everyone knows that conference. They're all over the place, but this one in particular with Bitcoin Plus Plus, all the amazing things that they're doing with open source technology and everything, they're going to be there. And again, you can see what's going on. And I think this is just highly recommend that you just dive into this stuff, check out all this amazing stuff, because as I like to always say, like, yes, the monetary policies and all the problems that are being solved with Bitcoin is great. I absolutely love that stuff. And that is very important. Just as much as I'm not going to belittle the fact that the price is going up and down and volatility and all that stuff for traders. Yeah, that's great. The beautiful thing about Bitcoin is everyone can choose which path in which they want to embrace with the technology, which path they want to go down, if you will, how they want to use it, interact with it. And in this particular case, I think of the open source builders just connecting and being able to solve real world problems, I think is really just great. And I like to highlight this stuff personally on the page. So last week you saw that I highlighted application using Signal, and it's called Radar, and it's sending encrypted messages, but also at the same time too, it's being a privacy layer for Bitcoin, and that's solving real world problems. So yes, that's a technology thing that also touches into the circular economies thing, like I said, because people spending money and using it back and forth and so on. That is something that is taking place in this world, and they all collide and intersect with Bitcoin. So that's why I like to highlight this stuff, share it with you guys. And as usual, regardless of where I am in the world, as long as I can get on and I want to share this information with you, I'm excited to bring it to you. And always a pleasure, not just to hear from you guys, connect with you guys, but these stories, which I'm passionate about, many of them come from you. So if there's anything that you'd like me to highlight, whether it is a charity, a cause in which people are using sats to donate to that cause, let me know. I'll shine some light on it. I will get some attention to it and share it with other people, or it's technology that you want me to highlight. Say, hey, this is what this developer made. It's absolutely amazing. It's solving a real world problem, whether it is through messaging services, through dumb phones, if you will, feature phones, not using smartphone. It's like that stuff just gets me excited. It might not be the most exciting topic for most people, but I love that stuff. So I will highlight it. I will share that with you. And those of you that are also looking for more Bitcoin content, there's stuff going out around the clock every single day. And those of you that are looking for the spaces, Cade will be live tomorrow. But this is the weekly update, positive feel-good stories, touching in circular economies, touching in the adoption around the world, the people, the boots on the ground that are doing that. That's what we do here on the Good Bit Show. My name is Taj. This has been a quick episode. However, hopefully it brightens up your day and you're excited for the next one. Well, I look forward to hearing from you, and I will see you on the next one.